The battle for dominance over the globe still continued. The Terminators, controlled by the UNSC, had surprised their masters by a sudden uprising launched by Skynet. In cities and towns everywhere, the Terminators slaughtered the populace. But out on the battlefield, their tanks also aimed their cannons towards their former partners. At some fronts, the UNSC armor were surprised and attacked in the back, but word had spread by now, and there were those who resisted and faced the HK tanks head-on in the open field. The new Grizzly tanks created by the UNSC would have their first trial by fire in these new enemies. Alright everybody, and welcome to another episode of Clash of the Worlds. Of course, on this day, Judgement Day is still in full effect, with the Terminators that were created by the UNSC revolting. And in the last episode, of course, they laid waste to that town that was held by the UNSC and the clones. But of course, elsewhere in the world, the revolt is also happening, and you have battles, not necessarily in the streets, but out in the open between armored units. And something might happen during this battle, which maybe some of you did foresee, but others also certainly did not. Those explosions that you're seeing are already from the hunter-killer tanks. It's going to be a little bit laggy here in the beginning. There's more than probably 70 tanks involved in this battle. Here you see all of them. But I wonder if it will dawn on you soon what I was talking about with what is going to happen, which maybe not a lot you foresaw.
Front. Tank, 300 meters southeast. Tank, 100 meters right. Tank, 700 meters southeast. Tank, 300 meters southeast. Tank, civilian, 300 meters southwest. Tank.
I'm currently the driver, I'm not the gunner. The gunner is entirely controlled by the AI. But I think by now it has become a little bit clearer about what I was talking about. Namely, we as the UNSC are absolutely dominating the HK tanks. Absolutely pulverizing them. Of course, this is the first episode where we feature the Grizzly. And at first I thought that the Grizzly was so powerful that I scaled it down and added more Scorpions instead of the Grizzly, but still. All those packs of smoke and wreckage you see. It's only hunter-killer tanks. We have significantly more hunter-killer tanks in this battle than UNSC armor. I should also add that. And it seems to me that none of them are even able to dent the UNSC armor. I mean, talk about a big surprise. I won't lie. Everyone, of course, knew that Judgment Day and the revolt of the Terminators would happen ever since they were introduced. Right? That was already in the making since the very first episode where they joined the UNSC. However, I will admit... Oh, and there we go. We actually got one shooting in our direction. I did make this battle with the intent of having the Terminators win this. You know, make an impression. Make a proper new faction that can hold its own. And though certainly that is still the case for them when it comes to infantry-only combat, because we have seen in previous episodes that the Terminators are able to go toe-to-toe with Space Marines. And again, in case people are freaking out because, you know, it's not lore-friendly or whatever, we're playing by the rules of the mods, not the actual lore rules, because if that's the case, Warhammer would always win. But again, we're doing this by the strength of all the different mods. And so, again, with this total surprise,
Tank, 600 meters northeast.
I was like, oh god, what did I do? Judgment Day was over in 24 hours. And the Terminators, of course, still have some special units left behind that the world has not seen, including Terminators that are not the metal skeletons, but the ones that look like humans. So, what we learn by this battle is that indeed Judgment Day on a large worldwide scale was a failure. They're going to have, being sent reinforcements in, so they get one more chance to win this battle and, maybe put a dent in the UNSC's armor here. But if not, they will continue their warfare mostly on a personal level, in the streets, not huge armies, but, kind of like the older Terminator movies, sending only a handful to deal with a problem, to deal with a situation. And even infiltrating society with Terminators that look like humans. It's very interesting, and I personally never expected the UNSC to dominate the HK tanks, or HK tanks like this, because we have seen in the past the Hunter-Killer tanks taking out a Warhound Titan, though, granted, there were a lot of HK tanks needed to get that done. A dazzling display of dominance by the UNSC armor. The Skynet AI was completely surprised by how resilient this enemy opposition was. Only a handful of UNSC tanks were destroyed, and those that were left had plenty of fuel and ammo to go for another round. And that is exactly what happened. More Hunter-Killer tanks were called in to lay waste to any of the leftover Scorpions and Grizzlies. Alright guys, here we are on the other side. The reinforcements. Hunter-Killer tanks heading in. I'm not at the front, so I'm not getting the full hit. I am in the gunner's seat. I do not have control over the movement. Again, it's going to be a little bit laggy in the beginning. And it also gives us a good view of how the AI deals with this from our side.
037-030.
And of course, a great view of how incompetent Arma AI is in terms of controlling a tank.
600 meters northwest. Tank. Half a click northwest.
This tank is damaged.
Half a click northwest. Tank. 600 meters northwest. Target that tank. Tank. 600 meters northwest. Tank. 600 meters northwest.
Oh my god, come on. This is why the robots are losing. Oh, what was that?
Target that tank. 200 meters, 2 o'clock. Target that tank.
It's fine! Oh my god. Shoot at it. We already died. There's nothing we did. Good job. Nope. I wanted to die too because I wanted to switch to another gunner. If there's one still alive, that is. Only one. What is this?
Target that tank. 1.5 clicks.
Where even are we? Are we heading towards the wrong battlefield? Where are we? Oh, we're following the road. Alright. Plasma cannon? Might as well. Ugh.
Soldier, 200 meters front. Tank, 700 meters. 700 tank. 1 west. Tank. 12 o'clock.
God, this is awful.
300 meters. 700 meters. 11 o'clock. Disembark. Tank. 400 meters. Tank.
There we go. We destroyed one UNSC tank. I cannot believe how the Terminators are owned here. It's insane.
Contact! Tank!
It actually makes me wonder how powerful.
Tank!
You can see
300
here.
meters
Here's another
northwest.
destroyed UNSC tank. We are able to destroy them, but only if our tanks are destroyed near them, and then they blow up in response. God. What a day for the UNSC. My goodness. Judgment Day had failed, at least on a global scale. Yes, they were able to do a lot of damage on a smaller scale in the various towns and cities, but world dominance did not come overnight. The HK tanks were simply no match for the display of power by the UNSC, and the same occurred by the armor from the Imperium of Man. But the Terminators would continue their purge, though on a much smaller scale in front. Yet they were not the only machines out for dominance in the galaxy. Word that the creations of the Terminators had spread throughout the various star systems, and way before the Terminators were created, there was already another machine race out for complete dominance over all life, and they had just found their new destination and target.